So there's been a lot of talk recently, and actually for the last few years, in terms of how to review wines and the 100-point scale. And I think it's important to recognize that when the 100-point scale first came into effect, it was one person who was reviewing all the wines. And in that sense, you get some context. Because it's one person who's tasting all these wines, and if that person gives one wine a 91 and one wine an 86, it's pretty clear that that person believes that the 91-point wine is a better made wine than the 86-point wine. But nowadays, particularly in a publication where you have a number of reviewers, and even if those reviewers have a tremendous amount of experience and are experienced in tasting a wide range of wines, by having the 100-point scale, you almost lose context. In fact, you do lose context in terms of what those scores actually mean, because everybody has a different frame of reference. So in order to, I think, get away from that and actually make the reviews and the recommendations from the reviewers much more relevant and useful to the readers and to the consumer, we've decided to go a different route. One of the issues with scoring is that it's almost become, if a wine gets a 92 points and one wine gets an 88 points, people think that the 88-point wine it's completely dismissed. There's no reason to taste that wine at all. It must be horrible. And part of that issue is the score escalation that's occurred over the last few years, where it seems that there's an abundance of wines that are now getting 94, 95, 96 points, and even 100 points. And really, it's becoming a little bit ridiculous. So we really need to ensure that we separate out those wines that are really highly recommended and those wines that are very good wines and people should give them a try. What the move really is to give people and encourage people to actually read the review. Because the review is what's going to give people that indication of, hey, this sounds great, I want to taste that wine. And also there's going to be the price point, because it's important that we put price point into context, because a wine that is $12 and scores 87 points, that's probably a pretty damn good bottle of wine, and we should encourage people to try that bottle of wine. Whereas if a wine gets 86 points or 85 points or 84 points and it's a $100 bottle of wine, price doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be great quality just because it's a $100 bottle of wine. So I'm hoping that this makes people, it makes it a little bit more relevant. It makes it a little bit better context for the consumers and the readers to actually be able to select those wines that they really want to taste. We have a lot of great writers in the publication. We have people who taste a lot of great wines, and this is going to allow people, I think, to have a much better indication of what the wines are actually like, as opposed to focusing solely on a number, which really doesn't give you much information at all on the wine.
So Gurvinder, can you tell us what you really think?
Robert?